Minecraft is one of the biggest multiplayer games of all time, with millions of people playing on servers daily. This has led to the creation of hundreds of custom minigames created by the community. Some of these minigames, such as Bed Wars and Hunger Games, have forever changed Minecraft's multiplayer. However, today we are going to be revisiting 7 minigames that were once at the height of the Minecraft community, but now have become forgotten. Minecraft in 2009 only had 3 popular minigames. These were Spleef, Parkour, and Free Build. And then there was possibly a 4th game mode, and this was called Lava Survival. See, back in 2009, lava had no end, and it would continually spread till it filled up the whole world or was contained. So people would grief entire servers by placing it at the top of the world. And this became so widespread that some server owners started to host a minigame where they would teleport all players to a closed off arena. They would then drop lava, and players would have to build structures to stop the lava from coming in. There could be additional plugins added to make most blocks be destroyed to increase the challenge, and the game mode would see its highest popularity in the summer of 2010, with videos on the Blocktopia Lava Survival server getting over 200,000 views. As for what happened to this minigame, Minecraft Classic was forgotten when the later versions of Minecraft's alpha exploded in popularity on YouTube. The other popular game modes at the time, such as Spleef and Parkour, were easily able to adapt, and so a new wave of players never experienced Lava Survival. And this is because, and I say this as far as I know, no one has been able to recreate Classic's lava physics in the modern versions without the use of mods. For more info about this game mode and the era of Minecraft around it, check out my video about Classic. MineZ was first released on June 25th, 2012 by a development team called Shotbow. This was a server and game mode based off the DayZ mod for Arma 2, which became massively successful worldwide a few months before. MineZ was an open world multiplayer survival minigame, where players will have to find food and water to survive, while fighting off zombies and other players in a custom map. Upon the release of the minigame, it would be massively successful, with YouTubers such as Vintage Beef, Ant Venom, and Paul Source Jr. all making Let's Plays of the server, getting over 4 million views. As for what happened to this minigame, another DayZ inspired Minecraft creation called The Crafting Dead had taken over MineZ in popularity in the summer of 2013. If you want to learn more about how that mod died, check out my video about more forgotten mods. Anyways, the popularity of Crafting Dead and the downfall of DayZ in late 2013 killed much of the player base around the minigame, but it would get even worse upon the release of Minecraft version 1.9, which completely ruined the minigame's PvP. All of these things combined together made Shotbow themselves slowly not work on the server anymore, and the minigame would be officially abandoned in 2017. However, last year, Shotbow restarted the server and has started development on new updates on the minigame, so time will tell if this minigame will be revived by the community. Cops and Robbers was first released on April 1st, 2013 by Podcrash. The minigame was inspired by a Halo 3 game mode of the same name and the Jailbreak game mode on Counter-Strike. Anyways, the minigame is played by 2 teams, the Robbers, which have to escape the prison, and the Cops, which have to prevent the robbers from escaping and can force the robbers into doing various tasks or they get killed. The minigame was instantly successful, mostly because a YouTuber named SkyDoesMinecraft made a video playing the minigame, getting over 19 million views. He and other YouTubers would make more gameplays of the minigame, each getting millions of views, and in turn, Podcrash and others would make dozens of maps for the minigame. As for what happened to this minigame, Podcrash would leave Minecraft at the end of 2015 and focus on real life, and so no more official maps would come for the minigame, and in turn the minigame would slow in popularity. However, in 2019, work on the minigame resumed and another 2 maps would be released, though they would get nowhere near the popularity as before. A year later, in 2020, Podcrash would once again abandon the minigame, and since there has been no updates. Hide and Seek was first released on July 10, 2013 by the Hive MC server. The minigame was inspired by a Garry's Mod game mode called Prop Hunt, which reached massive popularity the year before. The minigame itself is played by one team hiding as blocks where they have to blend into the environment, while the other team is trying to find the other team and kill them. The minigame would see massive popularity in the summer and fall of 2013, with YouTubers such as SkyDoesMinecraft and DanTDM making numerous videos playing the minigame, getting over 20 million views. As for what happened to this minigame, at the start of 2014, a mobile game was released which stole pretty much all of the assets and maps from the minigame. And as new minigames started to arise, the minigame started to go down in popularity. And by 2017, Hide and Seek pretty much became dead, only having a couple of full lobbies. Today, the minigame is only on Bedrock, since now the Hive MC server is only on that version, and the minigame itself appears to be still alive, though to what scale is unknown. Dragon Escape was first released on September 15, 2013 by the Mineplex server. The minigame was originally inspired by a test minigame called Undead Escape, which itself was inspired by a Counter-Strike game mode called Zombie Escape. Anyways, the minigame is played by players having to do parkour to outrun a dragon that is destroying the world behind them. The minigame would see instant success, with videos showcasing the minigame getting over 5 million views, and even had a small speedrunning community. As for what happened to this minigame, the minigame would actually remain popular till the end of 2015, when it started to lose popularity. The minigame and Mineplex as a whole would would lose popularity till 2020 when Dragon Escape was taken off the Bedrock edition of the server due to bugs and lack of players. However, the Java edition of the minigame still exists to this day, however it is pretty much dead. MCInfected was released on June 17, 2012 by Super TT007. The minigame is inspired by the Call of Duty game mode Infected, where one player has to turn other players to their team and only can win once all players are turned. The minigame would also recreate many popular maps from Call of Duty such as Carrier, Dome, Nuketown, and more. The minigame in the server would be played on would see some popularity in the fall of 2012, but it wouldn't be till the summer of 2013 that it would explode in popularity, getting over 4 million views on YouTube, and the server it was hosted on would be constantly full. As for what happened to this minigame, it was slow in popularity throughout 2014, eventually resulting with the server hosting the minigame shutting down at the end of the year. Another server would start at the beginning of the next year, however this one would die by 2018, and since then there's been a few attempts to revive the minigame, however they have all failed, and so the minigame today is pretty much dead. Minecraft Sonic the Hedgehog was first released on November 18, 2012 by FV Disco. The map/minigame was of course inspired by the game series Sonic the Hedgehog, and the map itself is a race where players have to complete the course as fast as possible, which I think this is one of the first maps outside of parkour that encourage the players to go through it as fast as they can. The minigame would see instant success due to FV Disco's then popularity, with YouTubers such as Captain Sparkles, Chimney Swift, and more showcasing their attempts getting over 5 million views. As for what happened to this minigame, this was one of the last minigame/maps that were entirely made out of redstone. Since just 3 weeks before its release, command blocks were added to the game, so as better parkour minigames and maps were released, it slowly fell out of popularity. Overall, all of these minigames had a massive impact on the servers they were on and the Minecraft community as a whole. But because of the game constantly changing, community losing interest, or just life itself, they slowly faded away to the back of players' memories. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Join the Discord if you haven't already, and check out episode 1 of my Beta Reborn Let's Play. Have a good day and goodbye.